plugged in. Hello. Yep, we're on. So I was down at a gun show this week down in Hermitage.
How'd you do?
Not bad, but not good. Okay, it was by far better than my last 5 shows down there this fall. We need, well, I'm sitting here, Mr. T, we need to adjust the camera to go that way a little bit.
How's Kathy?
Well, she better. I almost had to put her in the hospital on Tuesday.
It was a delay, so hang on.
Yeah. Gotta try and get Scotty's face in there.
I don't want it. That's all right. You
Well, I got too much of me, but not enough of you. I say we want your face in there instead of your big belly.
We have most of you in the fan. Oh, there you are. I see you now. Okay.
See if he's still in. No, he's leaning back. Okay. All right, there you go. That's enough of them. Got half your head.
You don't want too much of me.
So, anyway.
I wanted to do that show, but I had...
Well, it says here we have 2 of you people out there watching us. So if you can all hear us, would you all send us a chat and tell us you all see us and hear us? That way we know everything is working okay, so we don't spend 2 hours like we did last week trying to figure out what the fuck was going on with our sound.
What was going on with your son?
I have no idea. I really don't. I have no idea what we're causing.
Pulling out cords and plugging them back in and all those stuff.
Okay, now well, Scotty just held up a smartphone, one of them things that we're so dumb don't know how to work, can do more than we can. Anyway.
Oh, you tell me. It works.
Well, Emmy's there. Hello, she says. Hi, Emmy.
Hi, Emmy.
So, getting back to the gun show down in Hermitage. Yesterday had about not quite 400 people, just under 400 people come through yesterday. Of course, we just had about a 5 or 6 inch snowfall the day before that, so that meant, well, down there they didn't have hardly anything. Leastwise, in Hermitage, I don't know about your place.
We had 3.5 inches earlier. It's all gone now.
Yeah.
Shady areas.
So anyway, today, if they were lucky to have 150 through there, that would be pretty good. But I did do a boost in my pocketbook. But the only problem is I've gotten so far behind on my bills that I can't put any of it toward the taxes. All I can do is just pay some catch up, trying to stay ahead of the other bills. So, anyway, Go Lepetons. That's from Winterborn and Jack. Boom, you're on. Boom, you're on. Yeah, okay. You are on. Just sounds like a little too much echo. Hello, all. Okay, we've been having a problem with echo, and I have not been able to figure out how to get rid of it, and I'm not playing with no knobs. So.
Just your own knob, right?
Yeah. And that don't work half the time.
I ain't gonna say it.
So, but anyway, Scotty asked how, or maybe Mr. T, one of the two, asked how Kathy was doing. And got a little hairy Tuesday morning. I almost had to take her to the doctor. But when her medicine's not working, she don't want to eat. She don't want to sleep. Or, I mean, all she wants to do is sleep. Okay? And, well, not eating is not good, and the doctor told her that. So anyway, all day Monday she spent the day in bed. She did eat breakfast Monday, and but she wouldn't eat any lunch or supper. And then Tuesday morning, I did manage to get her up to get something to eat while she was after she took her thyroid pill. But then she went back to bed. And at that point, I just said, I'm calling the doctor. Because he and I had already discussed the fact that if she was starting to slip, to call him early, and he would order her into the hospital without having to go through the ER.
Direct admit, I think.
Yeah, direct admit. And so when he called me after I called in the morning, I told him, well, she's done a 90-degree or 180-degree turn. She got up and she ate. She stayed up. She got dressed. And she's putzing around doing a couple of things. And so I said, you know, it does. And he said, well, that's good, because that means we don't necessarily, excuse me, I don't have to change the medicine then, because it seems to be doing okay. So the emphasis was, if it should happen again, give him a call and we will then direct admit her again. But she was with me at the gun show, and yesterday she got a little shaky. Today she was really good. Really good concern compared to what she had been like last week. So there is hope. There is light at the end of the tunnel. It's just a question is how damn long is that tunnel? So anyway, is the video muted in the YouTube page? Well, let's see. Where's that? Yep, there it is. Unmute. Okay, now that the video muted in the YouTube page. We just unmuted the YouTube. Where's that? All right. There it is. Unmute. Okay, now that the video muted in the YouTube page. We just unmuted the YouTube. I can hear in you. That's echoing here. Why don't you, Mr. D, turn that thing all the way down so we can't hear it at all? That might be what the picket that's out there. Why don't you, Mr. D, turn that thing all the way down so we can't hear it at all? Yeah, that might be what the... Well, we'll wait and see if his voice changes. Why don't you, Mr. D, turn that thing all the way down so we can't hear it at all? Yeah. Is it changed? Well, we'll wait and see. Yeah, we're doing that again. It's back. Okay, I'm going back to the YouTube page. I'm going to mute it. Did I change it? And, you were fine on YouTube.
You need to change that, so now I need.
Yep, it didn't change it. Okay, we're going to bring it back. Maybe if I turn it down. Did that get rid of the noise? Getting better. Give it a few seconds. I don't know where that's coming from. I really don't know.
Radio DJ off?
What's that?
Radio DJ off?
Yeah, I turned radio DJ off. But let's see here. There is the icons. I really don't recognize any of what's the background noise, do you?
No.
Okay.
Okay, nothing playing there.
Nothing's playing there. Now we got it. Okay. This is to close it. Close window. Okay.
That should go away. Yeah, okay. So you put already read detail on the other noise is still there, right?
Do you have any additional fans or heaters or anything going on?
That heater, that one, I'm a fan about this there, but that's
Okay, somebody just said 5x5, so. Whatever. We're not talking and I can hear voices coming over Scott's phone. 5x5, so. Okay.
I mean a movie.
Okay. I don't hear anything now behind my talking. So, anyhow, where were we? I know we're here, but where were we?
Kathy and
Oh yeah. So anyway, sum it up. She's doing better. She's up the house doing dishes tonight while I'm down here. And I know before we go anywhere, and I don't want Jack to get mad because he is over in Cleveland. But did you see the last few seconds of the ball game between the Browns?
I am not watching professional football.
Okay. Well,
I mean, I saw it on, I think, Facebook had something on it, and one of the other internet things.
Well, it made the national news.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it made the super.
Okay. Now, I understand that in the process of a game plan, there is a certain amount of violence that's in that game, and emotions do get carried away. But when you have the guy on the ground, it's time to let him go, not grab him by his helmet and try dragging him around the field with his helmet until the helmet comes off. And then when somebody on his team comes to his aid and starts beating the shit out of you for doing that, then turn around and take his helmet that you pulled off his head and smack him in the head, unfortunately, that is a crime. That's assault and battery. That has nothing to do with football, and I'm sorry. I don't know the guy, but when something like that happens,
David Garrett, I think.
yeah,
Miles Garrett.
yeah, when something like that happens, so far they've taken the right steps and suspended him for the whole season and the postseason. As far as I'm concerned, he should be charged with assault and battery and banned from professional football, because this is not the first time that he has been penalized for unsportsmanlike conduct or unnecessary roughness. And they keep trying to bring down the violence. So the only way you're going to do it is those that cannot control themselves are going to have to start being banned from the sport. Good clean hits, I understand. People getting hurt in a good clean hit, that's the nature of the game. Okay? But when you deliberately go out to try and hurt somebody, and that's exactly what happened, and once the guy ripped the helmet off of Rudolph, another Cleveland Brown come up and smacked him from behind and knocked him back down on the ground again. I'm sorry. He got suspended, that's fine. Pouncey, who was the Steeler that came to his aid, he got suspended for 3 games. But prior to that, in the earlier part of the second quarter, or maybe it was the early part of the second half, another Cleveland Brown got suspended or thrown out of the game because of a unnecessary roughness hit on a helpless receiver who had already lost the ball and was 2 or 3 steps away from him and still took him down. Okay, that's what needs to be done, and not just give them a penalty, but they need to be suspended for the rest of their thrown out of the game and then fined. Make the fines big enough that they're going to fill it. $50,000 ain't it? $1 million, they're going to fill that. $500,000, they're going to fill that. So that's just my opinion. I used to like football, and I was an avid football fan. I'd get on the weekend, I'd sit down, and after I got home from church, and I'd start with the 1 o'clock game, and I would go to the 6 o'clock at the end before they had Sunday night football. Then when they started introducing Sunday night football, I would be there for that game, and then Monday night, and then Thursday night. Well, about the only time I get on now to watch a game in any interest is when the Steelers are playing. That is how much my interest in the game has waned because of different things. the demonstrations, the kneeling. I'm sorry, people are paying to see you play football. They're not coming there to pay you to get down on your knees like a spoiled little brat and claim police brutality. Okay, because, well, gee, somebody got busted, got roughed up. It happens to all of us. Okay, it happens to all the people out there, not just the blacks, but it happens to the whites. It happens to the Latinos or the Mexicans, whatever you want to call them. Okay? Sometimes the police get overzealous, yes. Do they need to be reined in? Yes. How do you do that? Well, you see it, you've been seeing it lately where police have been being suspended, fired, put on administrative leave and all that kind of stuff. So the process has to have time to work. But to try and say your particular race is being singled out, maybe you need to take a look at your race and see what you can do to better educate them so they aren't out there committing crimes like, oh, maybe they ought to stay in public school, even though it may not be the best education. It is there for them to take advantage of. Make the most of it instead of being out on the street peddling the drugs. Oh, well, they can't make any money that way, that's why they're peddling the drugs. Well, okay, I understand that, but that's illegal. Okay? You get into a gang, and so what do you do? Just because this gang's over on this turf and he's over here and he crosses onto your property, your turf, you do a drive-by shooting, or well, let's just not get into the details of it. The fact of the matter is, you have to straighten yourselves up before you become accepted by the rest of the society. Because no matter how many laws that are passed, it's not going to work unless you go out and make it work. Period. Now, anybody got anything to say? Am I off the rocker? Okay. Am I loony? Okay. Not yet? Oh, damn, I thought maybe I was after all these years. Damn it.
One question and one comment.
Yeah.
What football night was it? The infamous Yukon Jackie thing. 'Cause I know it was a school night because a certain person missed.
That was a Monday night.
Is that a Monday night?
That was Monday Night Football many moons ago.
It would have been probably.
Miami Dolphins was one of the teams, and
It was when I was on leave before it was in just late November, early December 1990.
yeah.
That's before I shipped out overseas.
Yeah.
That's the question. I didn't know if it was a Monday night or Sunday.
Jets were the other ones. Miami Dolphins and the Jets.
It's just a blur.
So's that bottle of Yukon Jack. That wasn't just
That was a half
fifth. That was a half a gallon.
We booked that.
Well,
And in the comment, it was going back to the whole kneeling. It goes with the football thing. Did you see how that guy Kaepernick screwed the pooch? Proved that he didn't. It was all show. He doesn't want to play football. He wants attention.
mm-hmm.
You know, the NFL. I just read an article earlier before I came. Of the 32 teams, 24 of them sent representatives.
Yeah, but then they changed it to the last minute, and only 8 showed up.
And they had already planned. They were going to record it by the Falcons personnel, the people who know how to record these kind of things, and that practice tape was going to be sent to all the teams. So everybody would gotten a taste of it. And half an hour before he was supposed to do all this, he decided he's going to move somewhere else, like an hour away.
Mm-hmm.
It just sounds all kind
That's
of.
what I said. He moved it somewhere else. And only 8 teams were able to get there. I think that's how many I read. He's an asshole.
Very much so.
Okay, and of course we're all assholes. It's just that he's bigger than the rest.
You know, considering that football is an all-American sport, you know, a lot of very patriotic, hard-working men and women live and die for their team.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much now over the last couple of years, but up until about 5 years ago, it was still going strong. And when these players, admittedly, it's their right. They can do whatever they want. They let me, but when they start, crapping on the people that give them the money, that just shows a complete lack of respect. And what they do in their off season, in their own time, like for instance, if I went to the nursing home and started taking a knee because I didn't want to work today,
fired.
I could be fired. And these people are being paid millions and millions and millions of dollars. You can't tell me that they don't have access to social media and all that, where they could use their name in their off time. And when you're in your team's uniform, you're playing the game.
Well, that's it. That's what I was saying. Everybody has the right to demonstrate. There's a proper place and a wrong place. The wrong place is when you, for example, play football and you have your uniform on and you're out in front of a paid audience. That is not the place to do it. That is slapping the people in the face that made it so you could get there. And I'm not talking about the high school football programs or any of that. I'm talking about the men and women in uniform that died or were maimed or had the courage to go over or volunteer and go overseas to defend your country, so you have the right to play football if you want. And you turn around and slap them in the face. Now, I know it took a while before the NFL got on it, and the news media, all the news media just slapped that up, and so I blame them as just as big a culprit as Kaepernick and all the rest of them that went out and started doing that. But the NFL finally, you don't see it now because it has been blanked out. If they're doing it, they're not broadcasting it. Okay, that's fine. That's not giving them the exposure that they're wanting. But as the owner of a team, and I'm paying you $500,000 to go out there today and kick somebody's butt and win a football game, and you go out there and you put your knee on the ground when the national anthem is being played, I'm sorry. I don't care how much I want my team to win. Your ass would have been fired right there, off the field and into the dressing room and get out. Period. There's a lot wrong with this country. Yes, there is. And there's a lot that needs to be corrected. Yes, there is. But when you violate the code of ethics and demonstrate where you're not supposed to, because you're accepting payment for a job to do and you don't do it. So, anyway, any other crap? Crap. We got a whole lot of crap. Last week I had a couple stories that I wanted to try and get to. I kept them. I don't know which ones they were, but I kept them. And one's still pertinent because the Democrats are wasting more of your money, taxpayers' money, and not doing anything. One is it has to do with the investigation of Biden, and something that they're forgetting to tell you was the Ukrainian government was investigating Biden even before Trump threw his hat in for the political ring as president, under Obama. Obama asked the Ukrainian president, you remember who you said? Okay, well anyway, asked...
weird vowels and mixed together.
They asked the then Ukrainian president to stop the investigation of Biden. So who is really corrupt? Okay, so I have that. Oh yes, the hearsay part of this.
Oh yeah.
This guy was sitting in a restaurant, And the guy he was talking to or sitting with, or no, he wasn't sitting with him. He was in the same restaurant. The guy was talking to Trump on the phone, and this guy said he heard what Trump was saying because he was talking so loud. Were you actually talking to Mr. President? Did you have the hearing up to your ear? How loud was the crowd in the background? And you're telling me you were a couple tables away and you understood every friggin' word that was said? Since when did hearsay evidence be classified as evidence? So I got that. Then we have the one about a 10-year-old says they were suspended, 10-year-olds were suspended after asking to be excused from the LGBT lesson. MICKYMOUSE. I forgot to staple that one, so, but anyway. Here's the one that pissed me off.
There's just one.
Oh, this is what this one really pissed me off. This is over the top of the barrel. I mean, the barrel's full, but this has made it overflow.
Do tell, sir, do tell.
University cancels 21-gun salute to appease snowflake students. Fuck you. All because of the so-called gun. I would have.
No, I understand that they plan on actually having one next year.
When?
Next year. They plan to have
Next year.
yeah. I'm gonna guess probably get more dance
Are they hoping that all those snowflakes that were there will be gone?
More dance warnings so people know for sure. Okay, on this date, at this time, this is what we're going to do. So either you violate gunfire.
When did they not understand what happens on Veterans Day? Okay, it was Veterans Day. It's on the calendar for crying out loud. This is Veterans Day. So there's going to be all kinds of salutes to veterans. Yes, sir.
I'm not even going to say it now. It's too raunchy.
No, go right ahead because I have some more.
What the school needs to do, this is all hyperbole, this is me just talking trash, is get with some of these feminazi groups, and their little pink hats, and in conjunction with the 21 gun salute, they can have a 21 queef salute. So everybody's included.
I got a better one.
Go for it.
All these little male snowflakes, if they can figure out what they are, can have 21 strokes on their gun.
Ay.
There's a 21 lined up, and each one do a stroke.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I caught something on some YouTube commentator here, and I'm not sure how long ago this was. It was fairly recent. It was on Good Morning London. It was set over in the UK, obviously. And there's this snowflake commentator that came on, and his newest activity is he thinks that World War II should not be taught anymore because the violence is bad for the children.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the idea is, don't teach history, we're going to repeat it.
Yeah, I was just, when I first saw the headline, I'm like, okay, that has to be taken out of context. So I watched part of it. This guy was dead serious. He does not think...
They'll call it emotional trauma.
Yeah.
Yep, he doesn't think World War II should be taught in public schools anymore because it is bad for the children.
Yeah. Oh, the poor children. Poor children. Well, that's part of our problem. We have babied our children to where they become so sissified that they can't handle any emotional distress or anything. And I blame that on the psychiatrists, and sometimes some of those need to be slapped in the side of the head. Here's another one that jerked my chain. Silhouettes of armed Revolutionary War soldiers now offensive. In other words, you can't put a decoration up, a silhouette of an American Revolutionary soldier with his musket, or you can't put a silhouette up of an American President soldier with his AR-15.
M16
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, AR-15's the goal.
Yeah. So,
Like blue military.
yeah. And then there's the Governor Ralph Norham from Virginia, the newly elected governor who wants to go after the guns. And my understanding is he has gotten control of both houses down there, so it is a possibility that that could happen. First state to succeed from the Union for the Second Civil War. By God, Virginia, of all places.
Louisiana has a Democratic governor.
Here,
I never know.
boy, last week seemed to be the week for the Virginians to make the noise. Newly elected Virginia senator previously jailed for sex with a teen, and he just happens to be a Democrat.
Yeah, elected.
Got elected.
Yeah, he was disbarred and all kinds of stuff
Yeah,
for,
he just hard.
Yeah.
for all kinds of bad deeds.
Oh, we'll give him a second chance.
I'll give him a second kiss on the cheek. Basically, if we go through and cover that much stuff, we're going to do pretty good. But there is another one I want to make a comment on. It's one of the new ones that I just pulled up. And it is, there's two of them there. Real gun is a misdemeanor, but finger gun is a felony. Okay? And this comes from out of Kansas, of all places. So, anyway, I need to rest my voice. I've been talking all day at the gun show. You pick. You pick what you want to start with, and then we'll go to Scotty and let him pick.
Well, I'll do the first one.
I'll keep these here in case we want to.
Okay, this is the World Net Daily just the other day. Actually, yeah, today. Real gun is misdemeanor, but finger gun is a felony. Now, I have a picture of Obama, because sometimes I think it was in office, finger gun. Anyway. A school in Kansas has determined that bringing a real gun to class in a backpack is just a misdemeanor. By folding your hand and making an image of a finger gun, well, that's a felony. And that determination has prompted the civil rights experts at the Rutherford Institute to urge the school to revamp its policies and remove the charge against the middle school student. Elected Michael Fulton, the superintendent of Shawnee Mission District in Shawnee Mission, Kansas, Rutherford said the student had been traumatized, stigmatized, and required to deal with future ramifications for being labeled a criminal because the school officials who should have known better opted to overreact to a nonviolent childish behavior, which is true. Overreacting. There's another here trending. Facebook removes Angel Mom's post on illegal permanently banned donations to Angel family groups. Yeah. Side note. Getting back to the letter. The letter urges the district to call on prosecutors to drop the charges and to file against the suit. No mention of any references to criminal charge from government records, as well as review of the school district's policies to implement limits on the punitive actions taken for minor offenses. It was official at West Middle School that pressed charges. Not even a Rutherford said. A hand gesture was involved in in your hand to make a miniature handgun. It's commonly referred to as a finger gun, and is widely seen through popular culture, in movies, TV shows, music videos, and on social media. Indeed, the finger gun gesture was employed by President Obama in his 2015 promotional video for his healthcare plan, which is the picture appears in his article. The question here took place in a classroom discussion in September, in which a young girl was asked theoretically, if you could kill any 5 people in the room, whom would you pick? The 13-year-old girl then pointed to 4 fellow students and herself using her hand to make a finger gun. She was sent to the principal's office where police officers recommended her arrest. They took her outside, handcuffed her, and arrested her, and dropped off at the juvenile detention center charged with a felony. Now, this sounds really stupid, okay? She's asking the class, theoretically, if you could kill 5 people, in this room, who would you pick? So using her finger, it was in the gun, she picked 4 students plus herself. To me, that was kind of answering the question. Yet, they want to charge her with a felony.
Who asked the question?
Teacher.
Well, the classroom discussion didn't say who actually asked her. I assume it was the teacher. But she was asked theoretically, if you could kill any 5 people in the room, whom would she pick? So, I can't go bang, 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 and stuff. Okay. Just, okay, this is my gun, and there should be 4 people plus myself. Kind of keep in California.
I don't. Why would an educator allow that?
Well, that's, I don't know, discussing an argument.
If the teacher did it, that's just asinine.
That teacher should be fired.
If another, like I say, another student posed that subject, the teacher should have nipped that crap in the bud right away.
Yeah,
The teacher's in charge of the class.
that's right. Exactly.
And, and then the appropriate steps could have been taken, why would, calling the counselor. Why would you ask this question? Go from there.
Anyway, so she gets arrested, handcuffed, arrested, and charged with the felony. Now, contrast this with the punishment meted out to 2 13-year-old students in the same school district who, the previous month, brought actual guns to school in their backpacks and were charged with misdemeanors. Now, a far less serious vote in the felony charge level against the young girl for ruling an imaginary finger gun. Ironically, while this young girl being punished harshly for supposedly violating the school policy of bullying and intimidating, the girl was loving herself, being subject to bullying and intimidation. Now, this is so ludicrous. 2 kids bring guns in, hang guns to school,
Case of underreaction.
and they're charged with misdemeanors. And this girl using a finger gun, no threat to anybody unless she had a broken finger, but no threat to anyone, and she was charged with felony. I mean, John W. Wayne, the president of the Rutherford Institute, said, "We all want to keep schools safe, but this is far better to see something incredible done by actual threats, rather than this ongoing senseless hardening of child behavior that poses no threat, causes no disruption, results in young people being punished, expelled, and even arrested under school policies that punish all offenses severely, no matter how minor a so-called infraction may be." Well, explained school officials were told repeatedly that the girl had been bullied at school, but they did nothing. They should avoid such an egregious use of power and not for counseling and consultation friends. Let's see. When a school became a prison, it leads to more contentious incidents of conflict and malpurity, as he said. When the school treats children humanely in this important way, instead of a criminal, such incidents decrease sometimes up to 9%, and with the case of excessive surveillance, and police officers reduced at his school. The institute also volunteered staff to revise school policies to ensure that such student disciplinary matter will handle it in a more appropriate, constructive manner going forward from this stupidity.
Well, it's in the case of the 2 kids that brought real guns to school in their backpack.
Is it for show and tell?
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
I don't know. I didn't say.
I know. It's a underreaction by the school for just giving them a misdemeanor charge. Okay. Now I don't know what kind of punishment a misdemeanor would give them. Detention, something like that. I don't know. Okay, but that was an underreaction because that is a violation of school policy everywhere across the country, not just in that school but everywhere. The other part of it is they overreacted when the girl made a finger gun. I wonder if it was loaded.
Might have been one shot.
Was it her booger finger?
It doesn't say, but I would assume.
But anyway,
By the index.
I would assume. Okay,
That's a common idea.
yeah. Only in the book of
She's
figures.
all too.
Yeah. So she gets called on the carpet, goes to jail, gets charged with a felony account, which would stick with her until she would be 21. Then it would get erased, but in the meantime, all those years of being punished for something that was nothing.
And whoever asked that question, because I assume it was a teacher, what are they getting in the way of punishment? Okay?
Exactly.
He or she asked a stupid question, which now puts thoughts in people's mind, their kids' minds that, gee, if I did kill 4 people or 5 people, who would I kill?
That teacher should have been suspended. Okay? And if it wasn't the teacher, she should have put a stop to it when whoever asked it. And whoever was asking it should have been
The only one-
so-called counseling.
Now, the kid who just, the 16-year-old boy who just shot the other student, the fellow student in California, and shot himself, okay? Did he hear about this same thing? Was he bullied to say, you know what? I have a way to deal with this?
That's a good question.
But he didn't.
What was the date of that?
The article was dated the 17th.
I just pulled that up. I just pulled that tonight.
And
The shooting took. When did the actual
that
event
took place a
happen?
few days ago. He did not. That was,
Doesn't have the actual date.
the
Because that's an interesting question that you just asked. That's
Oh.
16.
this was September.
That was in September.
This took place in September.
Okay.
So it was, and I remember, I actually saw something on Facebook about this whole, this is something similar. But anyway, so maybe this kid got the idea. Okay, who would I shoot? Who would I kill?
Mhm.
You know, who would I don't like in my classroom? Well, you know, we'll never know because he plugged himself in is now deceased.
Yeah, we'll never really find out what his reasoning was and what prompted it.
And other than a .45 caliber smell on that pistol, and I have not seen anything as to make and model of such weapon.
Well, they may be holding that for a surprise. And like I said, when things clear, give it about 30 days and go back, we'll probably find out that that kid had a history of psychological counseling and was probably had, which they have stopped doing, by the way, in their reporting. If you notice that they're not reporting if the person had a history of psychological treatments, or if he was taking Ritalin or Prozac, it seemed that once the people got to questioning that, all of a sudden that just, all the mass shooters, or whatever you want to call them, murderers, were on something. Now, all of a sudden, they're not.
The boy in question here, the shooter, he was supposed to be a pretty good, smart, tough kid by himself, murder kind of thing. You don't know for sure he was employed by anybody, maybe that's what he binding people, you know. But it wouldn't surprise me at least if he had heard about this instance in September, decided, you know what, I'm gonna act this out.
Wouldn't be surprised. Because kids, when they get befuddled and nobody will talk to them about what they're going on, will act
Like
funny.
kids.
Yeah, reckless. Because they don't know the consequences of their actions. And there again, that is because we have sissified them so much that they don't understand. If you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay? They don't know. And, well, we don't want to talk about that because we don't want to upset him emotionally. But you might stop this kid if you talk about it from carrying out something if he knows exactly what it means to shoot somebody. Okay? Now, if he's hell-bent on doing it, no matter what kind of talking you're going to do is going to stop him. Okay? You don't, yeah.
I think part of the
That's no longer talking. And that's demonstrating.
Kids these days, they're not being taught morality. What's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
Because, oh, let them do their own thing. Let them find themselves, express themselves. Some people have it, kill themselves. Or kill others before they kill themselves.
It's funny, and I'm recollecting, and I don't know about you, Mr. T, and your school, but back when I was in high school, if you had a problem with somebody, okay, a fist fight broke out. Now, if it happened to break out in school, they ran your ass down to the gym, both you and the perpetrator, or whoever, and they put the boxing gloves on you, and they let you fight it out. 9 times out of 10, when it was all over, they both beat the shit out of each other, but they were best of friends afterwards.
Nah, usually it was detention or suspension.
Yeah. Okay.
That one,
Now they have the alternative schooling system here. If you get do something nasty, why we're going to suspend you for X number of weeks. Now,
we need to bring back dueling.
dueling, good idea. 10 paces each, 1 shot apiece. Okay, that sounds like a good idea.
No. That's just so... Going back to the whole boxing glove thing, I remember an incident. There were 2 soldiers. They were, you know, during the day, they were in different platoons, but they were both in the barracks, and they got into the tequila one night, and they both happened to be Hispanic. I went to basic training with one of them. And that doesn't mean one thing or the other, but they gravitated towards one another because, you know, they were the minority. They ended up getting into it in the barracks room, and they beat the crap out of each other. Didn't hurt each other, but the next day, First Sergeant Willie T. Johnson found out about it. He was pissed. You know, if anyone's going to kick anyone's ass around here, it's got to be me. You got to get with. So after work that day, he had them put on full gear, weapon, rucksack, the whole deal, tied them together with like maybe 4 feet of rope, paracord, and then he drove behind them. And if they weren't talking, he played on the horn. All the way out, I mean, until well after dark. I remember them pulling in, and they were laughing and joking, and, you know, it was squash. But yeah, he was... Everybody heard it. Other battalions were talking about it. First Sergeant Willie T. Johnson. This guy, to this day, I don't even know. He's probably not alive because he had heart problems when he was getting out. He talked like James Brown sang. Half the time when he's ripping the formation apart, you couldn't understand him. He'd say, bar none, bar none, that's it, point break. And you knew then, oh shit, we're in trouble. And he was a basic training drill instructor for so long, he had a way that he could scream at the entire company. And I remember having this conversation after we got our asses peeled. Did he know, he could make it seem like he was screaming at you, when he was actually just talking to the whole platoon. But yeah, he tied them together and made them go on the road march together. Yeah,
Well, that's the way you do it. You put the 2 together, however it's done. Whether you tie them together, or you give them boxing gloves and let them knock the snot out of each other, whatever. Because then by the time they're done, they start to realize, hey, he's not much different than I am. So, what are we fighting about? Chances are what you were fighting about was nothing. Okay?
one
Nothing.
probably insulted the other mother's burrito making or
Yeah,
some nonsense.
yeah. Yeah.
Hi, Grandma. Nope, next day.
Your grandma wore combat boots while making tortillas.
Yeah, that was the way it was dealt with.
Yeah. So, okay, Scott, you can do yours. Yeah.
This is about the Ralph Northam, the Virginia legislature. Virginia Governor Ralph Northam, Democrat, plans a war on guns after Democrats assume their newly elected positions and take control of his state's legislation. The article goes on to say, Northam introduced a number of gun controls following the May 31st, 2019 Virginia Beach shooting in which 12 people were shot and killed with guns that were legally acquired. The gun control push failed to survive Republican opposition, but Northam sees hope for more Second Amendment restrictions now that Democrats will be in control. Northam told CNN he will push universal background checks as well as bans on high-volume magazines, bump stocks, and more. Ironically, these gun controls would not have prevented the Virginia Beach shooting. After all, the attacker acquired his guns legally, which intimates that he passed a background check, and a high-volume magazine ban can be defeated by simply carrying more lower-capacity magazines. The May 23, 2014 Santa Barbara gunman had 41 10-round magazines in his car when he carried out his attack. Moreover, bump stocks had nothing to do with the Virginia Beach attack, and such firearm accessories are already illegal at the federal level. So what this guy's doing is just out there trying to get money for the Democrat Party. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Thinks he's going to do something, thinks he's going to affect some change, and it's just going to cause more trouble.
Yeah, like I said, since he's the results were of the local elections for state representatives down there, he was able to gain control of both houses. So something is going to come down. And depending on how diehard the Democrats or Republicans are, probably Democrats, in these two houses, you're going to see something come down and it's not going to be pretty. And once it starts, if it starts in Virginia, it's going to spread like a house fire everywhere.
Yeah.
And because we've already got different red flag laws that if you think somebody could, he's sitting down on the toilet in the third row and lets out a fart, but he says, God, I'd like to kill that. You go calling the cops, say, hey, I just heard him threaten a fart. Okay?
Yeah.
Well, hell, there was that one. My apologies for jumping in. There was that guy at Walmart here, I think over the summer. They called in the bomb squad because he went into the bathroom and said something like, I'm fitting to blow this place up. And if you know slang, it means you're getting ready to
Dump
the
a load.
bowel movement.
Yeah, dump a load.
So he was doing the right Christian thing. He's like, y'all might want to leave because bad things are coming out of my anus. But no, people, some of y'all heard that. Oh Lord, no one's gonna blow up a Walmart for crying out loud.
No, we won't be able to get cheap junk. Or expensive cheap junk.
One thing that the governor, new PD governor of Virginia, is stating, no one under the age of 18 was allowed to own, use, shoot firearms, okay? And already mentioned that is going to do away with the youth hunts that Virginia has, like we have up here. And so you can't take, well, let's see, this was right now, my grandfather was still alive on mom's side, I was 10 years old. And he gave me this shotgun to use to see if I could shoot his 12-gauge shotgun. That would be now illegal, or when this thing comes back, Probably, might be a felony offense, I don't know, but, my grandfather would be a criminal.
Well, my dad would have been a criminal then too, because when I was about 9 years old, they had bought a single-shot 20 gauge, and I was learning how to shoot it. And I remember the first time I shot it, I didn't put it up tight against my shoulder. Both me and the gun landed on the ground.
Oh yeah.
'Cause when I was a kid, no, I thought it was funny. It hurt, but I laughed. Yeah, okay. But I was a skinny little runt, well, not a runt, but skinny. And
It was my time, I was skinny too.
yeah, so, but anyway, everything a lot of the stuff that I'd done when I was growing up, kids, would put you in jail today. There was nothing thought or said or done about it, but it would put you in jail today, or send you to a psychiatrist for the rest of your life. And that, so.
I want to, did you see today's Meadville Tribune?
Today's page?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. I haven't seen one of sheets. And front page talk about young Pennsylvanians prefer the likes of Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders over Joe Biden. three of those are avowed socialists, or Biden party the least socialist. But this ties into what I was going to mention last week, which we didn't get to.
Yeah.
But, my mother-in-law gets Freedom Works, and then the article, and the magazine she got the other week, it ties in with the Needle article, Needle article today. What liberals have planned for us all, parentheses, it's bad. Many conservatives are rightly frustrated with the passage of the recent two-year budget agreement that spends a total of $320 billion above the spending caps. But the real horror story is what the House and Senate Democrats are preparing to foist on the American people should they seize control of the White House in 2020. With split control of Congress, House Democrats are doing themselves passing legislation long desired by the far left base of the Democratic Party, signaling to their base what they plan to accomplish if the American people hand them control in the next election. Needless to say, it's bad. So you people out there who think a lot of Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, Liz Warren, and the rest of the Democratic nutcases. Okay, next paragraph, liberal socialist wish list. From reimposing Obama-era regulations on the internet, to stifling economic growth by forcing compliance with the non-binding Paris Agreement, which is tied into climate change, which is a man-made hoax to get your money and to control you. To increasing the federal minimum wage to $15, which would put people in business out of work. Democratic plan would kill economic growth and burden businesses, all to nobody's benefit and everybody's harm. So, let me read it. Liberals, socialists, reimposing Obama regulations on the internet and stifling economic growth by forced compliance with the non-binding Paris Agreement, increasing the federal minimum wage to $15. Democrats plan to kill economic growth and burden businesses, all to nobody's benefit and everybody's harm. House Democrats' alarming agenda doesn't end with their plans to deprive Americans of opportunity and squash our nation's entrepreneurial spirit. The so-called For the People Act, passed in March, includes several provisions that run roughshod over freedom of speech and freedom of association protected by the First Amendment and privacy. So, they don't care about our constitutional rights.
You're taking off.
No, back in.
Oh, okay.
The bill, which is designed to protect Democrat, get this For the People Act, the bill which is designed to protect Democrat legislators from accountability to voters, will expose private citizens who participate in the political process, thus opening them and their business to threats and intimidation. Meaning, if you don't like what they say and support Republicans or independents who want to do things counter to what Democrats want to do, you and any businesses that you might run are now considered opening yourself to threats from the government and the Democratic Party, intimidation. Welcome to Communism USA. A recent example of intimidation that will come as a result of H.R. 1 is the recent targeting of donors to the Trump campaign by Representative Joaquin Castro, Democrat of Texas. And I know he was going to, if I remember correctly, going to, they already did, or may have, release names of donors to the Republican Party, especially those that donated to Trump, target him for reprisals. Anyway, this is just beginning. Now, expanding entitlements. Expanding entitlements. Just before the recess, this thing went. The House Ways and Means Committee held a hearing on the Social Security 2100 Act. Ranking member Kevin Brandy, Republican from Texas, and our Republican committee staff believe that Democrats will eventually mark up the bill and put it on the floor. The Social Security 2100 Act was introduced in February by Rep. John Morrison, Democrat, Connecticut, who chairs the House Subcommittee on Social Security. Subcommittee and committee chairs rarely introduce legislation and are not seriously, read that. Subcommittee and committee chairs rarely introduce legislation they are not serious about passing. If passed, the Social Security 2100 Act would expand Social Security benefits, change how the cost of living adjustment, or COLA, is now adjusted, increase the payroll tax incrementally, employers from 6.2% to 7.4% by 2400, gradually eliminate the wage cap, and combine the existing Social Security trust funds to a single trust fund. Side note here, Democrats under the presidency of Lyndon Baines Johnson took the Social Security Trust Fund, which was supposed to be a lockbox and untouchable in government, and eliminated its protection, which is why we don't have a lot of money in the Social Security Trust Fund. It was used up by LBJ Company to pay for LBJ's Vietnam War and his Great Society program. Well, I digress. Anyway, overall, the Office of Chief Actuary of Social Security estimates the Social Security 2100 Act will increase taxes by $18.9 trillion over a 75-year period. The bill will also increase benefits on net by $3.7 trillion over the same time frame. It would eliminate the current unfunded liability of $13.2 trillion and create a surplus of $2.1 trillion. The chief actuary does not score dynamic impacts on the economy. The payroll tax will hit every American employee regardless of size, as in number of employees, and every employee regardless of their actual income level. Assuming the individual income tax changes made in Tax Cuts and Jobs Acts are not made permanent, the top marginal income tax rate will increase to 39.6% on January 1st, 2026. As American Enterprise Institute's Andrew Biggs has noted, most economists, as well as both the SSA actuaries and CBO Social Security analysts, assume that employers fund payroll tax or other employee benefits increasing by holding back on employee wages. Thus, employees would bear the full cost of higher security taxes. So, what it means is, you're assuming that employers fund payroll tax or other employee benefits by holding back on employee wages. So as the Social Security tax will go up, the employers will increase the holdback on your wage. Therefore, you, the employee, will bear full cost of the higher security tax. This effectively makes the top marginal income tax rate at 54.4%. And if Democrats get away with the Medicare for All Act, it will be even worse. That's another scheme Democrats will appear for way behind. We need to see more clients.
You want a shot of one? No drinking
Okay,
anymore?
Medicare for All.
Edward Trump.
Not long ago, House Budget Committee Chairman John Yarmouth, a Democrat from Kentucky, asked the Congressional Budget Office, also known as CBO, to report on certain policy considerations related to senior payer health insurance system. Yet he never asked for cost estimates, likely because he wanted to avoid an official CBO report that could damage Democrats' chances in 2020. Imagine that.
Gee, how come?
Yeah. Other Democrats like Senator Bernie Sanders, who's independent from Vermont, who unfortunately most young presidents are pressing ahead with their Medicare for All scheme with no abandon. Senator Sanders' bill is co-sponsored by Senators Ford Booker, Warren Harris, and Elizabeth Warren, all running for president. In the House, Representatives Romalia Jay Powell, Democrat of Washington, has introduced similar legislation, which has gathered, unfortunately, 117 co-sponsors, which is roughly half the House Democratic caucus. Depending on estimates, Senator Sanders' version of Medicare for All will cost anywhere between $32 trillion to $44 trillion over 10 years. Side note, that's money we don't have to spend. When he introduced the Medicare for All Act in the previous Congress, Senator Sanders provided a list of various tax increases to fund the proposals. These options included a 7.5% income-based premium paid by employers, which would be $3.9 trillion over a 10-year period. A 4% income-based premium paid by households, which would add another $3.5 trillion over 10 years. Substantial changes to the individual tax code, including rates of 40% on income between $250,000 and $500,000 a year, 45% on incomes between $500,000 and $2 million per year, 50% for income between $2 million and $10 million, and 52% on incomes over $10 million a year. Estimated revenue was at $1.8 trillion over a 10-year period. In essence, the government is going to take more of your income. So why vote these idiots into office? Basically, taxing capital gains as regular income, estimated included with individual tax change. Okay, they're gonna the taxable capital gains are not now counted as regular income, and you may be doing your income tax, but that rate will go up. There'll be a wealth tax of households exceeding a net worth of $21 million, which would add $1.3 trillion over a 10-year period. So, if you have a net worth of $21 million or more, I'd say get that bounced or get that dropped out of it. Listen to me. Increasing state tax rate as high as 55%, and applying an additional 10% surtax on the state's value at more than $5 million for an individual and $1 billion for a married couple, which would add about $249 billion over a 10-year period. So, if you have an estate worth a lot of money,
No, you don't.
sell off. Would pay out the, yes, anyway. Medicare for All Act is not the only bill to watch in the area of entitlements. Some Democrats have chosen to pursue a public option over Medicare for All or other single-payer approach. Those who push these scheme claims insurance premium increases, which are only pricing controls through Obamacare mandates, are at least partially blamed for. So they increase medical insurance costs through Obamacare, not but they're not going to take the blame for it, but they're going to tax you for it. Medicare reimbursement rates average only 87 cents on healthcare market dollar. Shortfall caused by these price controls passed on to private health insurance, causing private insurance premiums to skyrocket. The public option which passed Congress, the cost sharing event would naturally occur from Medicare style product option increase, creating higher premiums, making private health insurance less attractive because of the federal ability to undercut private health insurance. Comprehensive private insurance, we basically cease with this. So it's not like if you like your doctor, keep your doctor. If you like your health insurance, keep your home insurance. With Medicare for All is going to get rid of your private health insurance, and you will afford to take a government-sponsored insurance. But again, why vote these idiots in your office? Last paragraph, yes, getting to the end here. We can't say we weren't warned about this. As Americans have seen during the Democratic presidential debates, every candidate is, for lack of a better term, trying to out-socialist the others. Who can be the best socialist? I guess I was, there are no good socialists. Anyway, the pieces of legislation mentioned at the beginning of this piece, and the explanation comes from expansion of Social Security and single-payer health insurance, as well as the heavy tax burden that will come from these proposals, are just the tip of the iceberg from Democrats. The goal is to transfer the American economy away from what made it the most palatable economy world into a heavily centralized welfare state in which achievement and success are punished. They're all going to go out in 2020 to make this nightmare a reality. And as the last sentence says, we can't say we weren't warned. So, a warning to the wise. I know the Republicans have their faults. But heaven, please do not vote for the Democrats. They will take us and put us down the drain. The America we know probably end up in the dustbin of history. My thoughts.
One of the sponsors happens to be warning you that this is coming, and her name's appropriate, Warren.
Yes.
You've been warned.
She has mentioned this stuff.
You have been warned.
Warren warned us. Okay.
Vote for Warren and make it come true. And so, everybody want to take a couple-minute break here? Okay, we're going to turn the mics off for a minute and take a couple-minute break. We'll be back in a momento. Sorry, no music as of yet today. We're going to go back.
Liberty. Good luck.
We're going to go back. Thanks for coming, Scott. I'll catch you later. Oh, dear. I didn't really mean to take that long of a break, folks. It's just we got carried away, like we always do. Carried on, karaoke,
Just one thing we were talking about.
yeah, just.
If you get something in the mail in a car dealership, in my case, I got one. It was my Honda. It's like Hyundai Santa Fe. The car dealership is going to offer me trade back up to $8,000 some odd dollars to get me into a 2019, and they listed like 3 different models to choose from. Get me in there, and when you look at this advertisement, look at everything. Okay, what they sent me, each of the 3 vehicles. Okay, in this advertisement, lease. They're all leases. Okay, all these vehicles. And you look at the fine print. If you travel over 12,000 miles annually, the lease option is not for you, because you will pay them for going every mile over at 12,000. So don't get all fired up. Hey, wow, I can trade my car in for this, and you can get this much, turning value, and get a new car. Yeah, read the fine print. It could be a lease deal, which you don't want to get into.
Well, I got a flyer in the mail, an advertisement in the mail also, from a car dealership in Edinburgh, PA. He happens to be a Jeep dealership. Now, I presently have a 2014 Jeep Patriot. I only owe about $4,600 on it at the present moment. I've already gotten solicitations from the place that I bought it from, offering me a trade in which they were saying the value of your car is higher than what the balance of that you owe on it, which of course it probably is. But I'm not ready to trade. But I got this advertisement. They sent me 3, pull tabs. Okay, so I pulled the tabs off, and sure enough, I got 3 cars on this one tab. So I looked up on the little chart that they had in their advertisement brochure. According to that, I am entitled to go up there and get a free, no purchase necessary, free 50-inch TV. Okay, now.
Go for it.
Yeah. Now, I called them.
You have it up there back already?
Well, I was doing a gun show.
Oh, okay.
So I called them Friday when I got that, and the guy says, yeah, all you gotta do is bring the flyer, the advertisement brochure, and that pull tab. And he says, I have 8 of them sitting here right now. And I said, well, according to this, it's a 50-inch TV. He says, well, I think we're actually giving away 65-inch TVs.
Oh, wow, okay.
Okay.
They can sit farther back.
Hey, I could build a house with that. So, I am going to go up there and get it. I really want to go up and get a good look at the new Jeep Gladiator. Okay. I've seen them from a distance, and I'm telling you, I want one. And whenever I get this thing paid, by then I'm hoping there'll be some used ones on the market. And barring a major disaster with them, I will probably have one. I am that kind of a guy.
Jeep Gladiator. Does sword come with that?
It's a truck.
I know, no. Does the sword come with the Gladiator?
Yeah, a shield. Okay. A shield and a helmet. One of them helmets that cover your whole head with the wide brim so you can stay dry in the rainstorm. Or cover your whole shoulder, I should say.
The Dodge truck I have right now, I bought in February of 2018. And I hadn't had it a year yet. Of course, the 2019 models had come out. And the dealership I bought it from was like, hey, would you like to upgrade your truck? At that point in time, I hadn't even put 12,000 miles on it.
Emmy, Emmy, I know there's nothing on TV, but if you know my viewing habits, if you come to my house, there's two types of programming on my
Westerns for one.
Westerns, and not the new stuff. I'm talking the old stuff when you have real actors like John Wayne and Randolph Scott and Gordon McRae and so on, okay? And war movies, okay? You will also find me watching some of the History Channel. You'll also find me watching some of the Discovery Channel. And I like watching, I shouldn't say this, but I like to watch the Discovery Channel when they're doing the histories of the museum, okay? And they're doing reenactment stuff concerning the wars. And in World War I, there was this thing there about World War I and this gadget that came from World War I. So they were showing reenactors. Supposedly they had the right helmet, they had the right clothing, but they were carrying M1 carbines and M1 Grands. Okay.
Okay. Not enough WO3s and 17s ago.
Then another one was something had to do with something about the Germans in World War I. And when they showed the Germans, right helmet, right clothing, but they were carrying M1 carbines and M1 Grands.
They were captured.
Yeah, okay.
They were captured.
Now, in World War II, they probably had some of those because they were captured, okay? And like almost anybody else, you capture the enemy's weapons and,
I understand.
you know, you turn around and use it on them if you can.
I
But,
see pictures and some notations. The M1 carbine actually favored a lot of Germans. Like, you get a hold of it, ammunition.
Mhm.
Like that.
But, you know, I'm just saying that they're trying to produce a historical thing here, and they're putting the wrong kind of stuff on it, and it's just like the narratives for World War II now.
They do one on the M4 Sherman tank, and Abrams shows up.
Yeah, no. Come to think of it, I think I did see that. But even the footage from the, mainly I've seen this in the footage from the Pacific Rim, or the Pacific Theater, is United Nations troops landed on so-and-so island 3 years before, or 4 years, or even 5 years before the United Nations was in existence. Okay? So they're crediting an organization for something that they had nothing to do with. It wasn't in existence. Now, it was Allied troops maybe, like the British, the Australians, New
We
Zealanders.
were all united.
Yeah, we were all, yeah.
The nations were united against Japan.
So anyway, I just tell you, that's what I try to watch. And when I see them screw up so bad on the technical aspect, I go to something else. And I do not watch modern TV program because I refuse to be indoctrinated about the LGBT, MIC, KEY, MOUSC, queer steers, and whatever you want to call them out there. And so, anyway, back to the format of our show. We have a format? Oh, yeah, it's over there. See, it's laying down there. It's all dirty. We need to sweep it. Anybody want a job? Imagine Daryl not needing his glasses to read the chat. You mean like that? It's perfectly clear. And I got bifocals. And it's perfectly clear. Now, I have to tip my head up to see it through the upper feathers. No, I don't get Playboy Channel, Emmy. If I did, I'd be watching it.
You wouldn't be here doing this.
I'd be the real pervert that I want to be. I'd be all I can be.
You and Mike would be sitting in there like breath, count to three.
1, 2, 3. Okay, now I'm dizzy. I over-oxygenated myself. I'm going back to something we were alluding to earlier about Veterans Day. I don't know why it strikes me so close to heart. Maybe it's because I am a veteran. Maybe it's because my friends went to war and some of them didn't come home. Okay. Anybody that speaks out against them, I just like to go and stomp on their head like a beetle. Anyway, this university cancels 21-gun salute to appease snowflake students. That's the headline we had talked about. Now you want to know where it came from. The University of Virginia. Gee, where have we heard that state tonight? Virginia.
Oh, let's see. Five-gun governor.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
governor-elect.
Yeah. The University of Virginia canceled the 21-gun salute portion of its annual Veterans Day ceremony, citing gun violence. James Ryan, the university's president, posted a statement on Facebook explaining that there were concerns about firing weapons on school property in light of recent school shootings. He said there were no specific reasons. Well, if there was no specific reasons, then what are you sticking your nose into something that don't concern you? Are you anti-veteran? How many of your students are veterans? How many members do you have on the ROCT? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. ROCT. Officers Recruit Training.
ROTC.
Yeah, ROTC.
Nazi.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. That's what okay. First, to minimize disruptions to classes, given that this event is located at the junction of 4 primary academic buildings and is held at the time that classes are in session. Oh, gee.
Everybody, look out the window, watch this.
Yeah. The second, recognizing concern relating to the firing of weapons on grounds in light of gun violence that has happened across our nation, especially on school and university campuses, the president said. By the way, if you want to find out what kind of shithead Beto O'Rourke is, it says here, watch Beto O'Rourke disrespect the American flag at a veterans home. I didn't see that till now, and I think I'm going to have to go see if I can find that tonight. And, yeah. As you might imagine, the outrage among veterans and military supporters has been severe. I am very disillusioned, very upset, and very surprised that they would make such a decision. Veteran Jay Levine told television station WHSV. The Daily Progress condemned the university's decision in its editorial. It is ironic. He sends the unfortunate message about our students that they are, just like we've been saying, too fragile, too delicate, too distractible to deal with the interpretation of the salute. That they are too insular, too wrapped up in their own worlds to comprehend and accept the long-standing practice, that they must be protected from the realities that exist outside academia, the editors wrote.
Yeah, their own world. So this was a smart kind of meeting.
Yeah. The blowback was apparently so significant that President Ryan promised to reintroduce the 21-gun salute next year. The notion that students might suffer some sort of disruption because of the ROTC is honoring the veterans is repulsive. The irony is that gun salutes are a demonstration of a military's peaceful intentions according to the U.S. Army Center of Military History. The use of gun salutes for military occasions is traced to the early warriors who demonstrated their peaceful intention by placing their weapons in a position that rendered them ineffective. The senator explained the 21-gun salute became the highest honor a nation rendered. The University of Virginia may think they are protecting their overly sensitive students, but in reality, they are disrespecting our veterans. Now, if you really wanted to do something, Mr. Ryan, you'd have a belated Veterans Day salute. Okay? Okay?
Actually, you do it on December 7th.
Yeah, Pearl Harbor Day. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that, because everybody wants to forget Pearl Harbor. Like we were talking here earlier, if you're not allowed to talk about history,
We've learned about it.
okay,
We've learned from it.
if you don't learn from history, you're going to repeat it. And people have forgotten about the Holocaust. I know there's people out there saying, oh, the Holocaust never happened. Well, that depends on what side of the coin you are, whether you were able to survive or whether your relatives, family members, or friends were put to death under the Holocaust. I know everybody thinks it was just the Jewish were the main culprits, or not culprits, but the main victim. They were, yes. But so are the insane and the mentally incompetent and the handicapped.
If you believe the estimated count of 13 million,
Yeah,
more non-Jews were butchered than Jews.
yeah. And,
Protestants,
yeah, if you
Gypsies, Tramps,
if you did not
scholars.
agree with their policy, well, you were sent to the gulag. No, you were sent to the prisoner of war camp. No, you were sent to a concentration camp, slave labor.
Talk to the guys to the east.
Yeah.
Their uncle.
Okay. And now, everybody makes a big deal about what Adolf Hitler did, but nothing is said about what Stalin did. The 50 million people that he killed of his own countrymen.
Ukrainians.
Yeah.
Starved to death.
Yep. Okay.
Killed soldiers that retreated.
Yeah. And
Killed.
the weapons that they could have used to support the troops to maybe break through on the lines were set far enough back so that when their troops couldn't break the line because they didn't have enough weapons, they were driven back, were machine gunned by their fellow soldiers.
And returning POWs and were
Okay.
hauled off in mass and executed as traitors.
If I remember some stuff that I read about the Russians during World War II, they had 3 waves in which they used for attack. The first wave, the guy had the rifle and 5 rounds of ammunition. If he got shot, the next guy come up, picked up the rifle, and he had 5 rounds of ammunition. Okay. The next guy came up, if the other one got shot, had a club. Now, if the second guy still had some ammunition, he was supposed to pick up that gun and ammunition and continue the attack. Otherwise, he was supposed to continue with the club. And that,
The enemy at the gates.
yeah,
Okay. That does that. You've seen the movie where they do attack, and many of them don't have weapons. Right? Okay, guy in front of you falls, you pick up the weapon, grab the ammo, and keep on going. And that was, that was in that movie. And it's true. And the Russians had repeatable battalions, people that had been arrested for what crime, real or imagined, and they had the guard behind them, so they gave them weapons and limited ammunition that say you are going to attack, you dare to retreat, we'll kill you. And I forget how Stalin had 200 generals executed because he was displeased with their performance, or did not like the fact that maybe they didn't fully support him as the guy in charge. Anyway.
Joseph, G.I. Joseph, says what Daryl is recounting was demonstrated in the enemy at the gates. Just what you were saying, Mr. T. And I knew that, but I didn't get that far because you brought it up. And it shows how well our kids are paying attention and they are learning something from history or remembering something from history. I'm glad to see that. So, I guess, should we do this one? This is about hearsay is better than direct evidence.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. I have this button on my program now that it's called simplification of the article. What it does is it goes down and cuts out all the garbage that goes along. Instead of having 4 pages, you get 2 or you get 3.
So, in the video.
Yeah, even the video. Okay. But the only problem is it still puts out the picture, which I haven't figured out how to do that. But who's it? Hearsay is better than direct evidence, Dem Congressman claims. This is off the World Daily, too, so. Shift. Is that how he pronounces it? Shift?
Shift.
Shits. Impeachment. Impeachment inquiry told of stunning standard for proof. A Democratic member of the House Intelligence Committee delivered a stunning lesson to the other members of the committee during the first public impeachment investigation hearing on Wednesday. It concerned the standard of evidence or testimony. Representative Mike Quigley, Democrat of Illinois, said hearsay evidence is better than direct evidence. I guess to close a preliminary or a primary on hearsay or primer on hearsay, I think the American public needs to be reminded that countless people have been convicted on hearsay, Quigley claimed, because the courts have routinely allowed and created needed exceptions to hearsay. Hearsay can be much better evidence than direct, as we have learned in painful instances, and it is certainly valid in this instant. The Daily Caller reported Quigley made the statement while questioning Deputy Assistant Secretary of State George Kent and acting ambassador to Ukraine, Bill Taylor. When the Republican members asked, will the gentleman yield because none of those exceptions would apply to this testimony, the chairman, Representative Adam Schiff of Democrat of California, closed down the comment immediately. It was not the time for that discussion, he ordered. Schiff earned a claim for more than 2 years while Special Counsel Robert Mueller investigation was going on into Democratic claims that in 2016 Trump campaign colluded with the Russians and that he had evidence of Trump's guilt. But Mueller concluded there was no collusion. Donald Trump Jr. lost no time in responding on Twitter to Quigley's comment. Can you believe this insanity? Hearsay can be much better evidence than direct evidence, according to Democrat Mike Quigley. Are you freaking kidding me? Third and fourth party info better than hearing it yourself? Can you believe the insanity? Hearsay can be much better than direct evidence, according to Democrat Mike Quigley. I'm repeating. Donald Trump Jr., at Donald Trump Jr., November the 13th, 2019. If you want to read that, that's where you can go do it. On Twitter, there appeared to be two sides with no middle ground. One Twitter user posted the sign, remove, convict, incarcerate. Another said the Democrats have lost the impeachment sham and are now down to outright lying and asking hypocritical hypothetical questions. Yeah. So.
Facts don't matter. Just
Yeah. Well, it's like sitting down you're in a massive restroom somewhere, you hear somebody 4 seats down saying something to somebody, and so he's a direct witness, even though he's 4 seats down. Okay?
I heard it all.
He heard it above all the farting and all the other stuff, and the water splashing when the guy was taking a shit.
Sand dryers and all that.
Yeah. Like that. Ooh, jeez. That was a knockout blow there. I hope it don't stink as bad as it sounded.
Anyway. We're gonna die. Anyway. I'm gonna do this one. Alright, what's anything interesting? Right.
Oh, you're looking to see what I was looking at? Well, I was just reading some of these things.
Anything interesting before I started.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 10-year-olds say they were suspended after asking to be excused from LGBT lesson. Ordered that day.
The Rainbow Kids.
The thought police are on the prowl once more, reducing independent thinkers and religious individuals to a pile of embarrassment and shame, even if their targets are only children. In South London, 2 10-year-old Christian students said they were suspended after they asked their Heavers Farm primary school head teacher if they could forego participation in a lesson about LGBT topics during Pride Month, which would be Gay Pride Month. Head teacher Susan Pappas allegedly told both kids, who are of African heritage, that their opposition to the LGBT activity made them a disappointment to the school, Christian Concern reported. The students, Carol Spence and Casey Francis, were given 5 hours of detention and were suspended for a week. There's a video, it mentioned in the video about Casey defending her beliefs, but you can't, of course, there's a video. Anyway. But it says here, what a 10-year-old child view the damning impact of the LGBT agenda on the schools. Casey was manipulated, bullied, and unlawfully excluded by her head teacher to alleged anti-LGBT comments. Casey categorically denied the allegations, and she's backed by children's class. Anyway, the video's not there, and we can't show it. Anyway. The debacle started on June 20th this year after Farrell, Farrell Spence, received propaganda-like LGBT coloring materials from his teacher, Alex Smith. When asked if he could skip the activity, Smith denied Farrell's request and told him it was part of the curriculum. Later, the teacher, Alex Smith, accused Farrell of saying LGBT sucks and LGBT
I guess
dumb.
we do.
Okay. However, the preteen denied that they were using such homophobic language. I wouldn't doubt he did, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you're right, too. Right. During his next class, Farrell told a different teacher that he could not accept LGBT because of his Catholic faith. He said this while sitting beside Casey Francis, a Pentecostal Christian classmate who shared his sentiment. Do you want LGBT people to die? The teacher reportedly asked. The 2 students responded no, but added the same-sex couples would be punished. The 2 students responded no, but added that same-sex couples would be punished if they lived in their country of origin. There are just some places, and Israel was one of them, same-sex couples is a death sentence. Get over it. It happens, okay? Farrell told the teacher that he was of African Jamaican descent and that everybody is Christian and Catholic, so they don't accept LGBT. I wish more Christians and Catholics were the same way. Word quickly spread about students, probably head teacher Pappas, who harassed the students and gave them 5 hours of detention that day. How dare you You were just come to the school, Papa said, according to students. Papas, whose daughter is a lesbian and the school manager, she, reported reading Casey about after the kids were put in separate rooms saying, "How dare you say that you want to kill LGBT people?" They didn't say kill, Casey responded. Papa shot back, "Yes, you did, and don't lie," before beginning detention. The mothers of Farrell and Casey are fighting the suspension, noting that students have to be suspended for a non-disciplinary reason under school law regulations. So they didn't violate any disciplinary regulations, so they can't be suspended. Anyway. The spokesman for Hebrews Forum Primary School issued a statement to the Western Journal on Monday. "We take our duty to teach the fundamental British values of tolerance, equal rights, and mutual respect very seriously." Now, why go any further? Tolerance. I used to have this saying, but I can't find it. But that's what I find. A great Catholic theologian by the name of Archbishop Sheen made a statement saying, "The problem of America is not we lack tolerance. The problem with America is that we are too tolerant." Meaning of the idiocy like gay rights, women's lib, and I'm sure you're rolling in his grave because it's gotten worse since. But anyway, according to the spokesman, "We will not tolerate any violence or threat of it against any members of our community, and we will always take necessary steps to protect our pupils, staff, and visitors." The question is, what violence or threat of violence did these two students mention or take? None. The incident reminds me of a Bible story in Daniel 3 about, I probably killed these names, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Yeah.
Three doctoring Jewish boys refused to bow down to King of Babylon, King Nebuchadnezzar. When they refused to submit, the boys were thrown into a massive furnace, became so hot that the people who threw them in were killed by heat. When Nebuchadnezzar looked in the fire, he saw 4 people walking around: Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, and the Son of God. Not a hair on their head was singed, and they had divine support they needed to withstand fire and flames. Pharaoh and Casey stood strong for biblical values in the heat of the moment, and now they are joined by tens of thousands of like-minded people who agree with them. And then the last thing is, you can show your support, appreciation by doing a life position, which we can't do this. Anyway.
Yeah, I have to give those kids credit for sticking by, even though the Pope has come out and made some statements here in the last week about the ministry being against same-sex marriage and all that kind of stuff.
As a Catholic, I can say I do not care for the current Pope. Pope Francis is a known. Actually, he mentioned he's a Marxist.
Yeah.
The Catholic Church has had a bunch of bad popes, and the crisis the Church is facing now, as far as homosexualism, pedophilism, has happened once before, has been overcome, and those of us who are traditionalists believe the Church will once again prevail. So I take everything the Pope says with a large lump of salt, and since he does not speak from the chair of Peter, or ex cathedra, meaning from speaking chair of Peter in authority, what he says is his own opinion and should not be followed or obeyed by any traditional Catholic or any Catholic for that matter. Anyway, it has been said more than once that Pope Francis has refused to actually sit in the chair of St. Peter, the papal throne of authority. I'm not sure maybe he's afraid to sit on because he's afraid he might be turned to ash, perhaps. Which would mean we re-elect a new pope and hope would be a better one. I don't know. But he has refused to sit on it. So a lot of people think, well, maybe he's not really the valid pope. But anyway.
Well, we're going to jump back, as we are known to do throughout the history of our shows. We have no rhyme or reason of what we do, but we're going to take a step backwards here.
How far in time?
At the beginning of the show when I read this headline.
Oh, okay. That's been not 2 hours yet. Okay.
And this will most likely be the last show. Anyway, I read you the headline, Silhouettes of Armed Revolutionary War Soldiers Now Offensive. This is out of WorldNet Daily. Do we have to do guys with guns when guns are killing our children in school? Well, maybe if you had some armed guards in the school, we wouldn't have necessarily the shit that's going on, but,
Speaking of that,
and that,
Pennsylvania, where I know, you have to be a police officer certified to be a school resource officer. You can't, they're not allowed to hire vets.
not allowed to hire vets.
That's what I understand. The school system, they're not allowed to hire vets, combat trained or otherwise.
Oh, I know why you wouldn't want to hire a vet, because he's been in combat maybe, and he might go off the deep end. He might have a post-traumatic syndrome attack while he's doing it.
I am not one that I don't have that problem. Okay? I shoot. I set up fireworks.
Yep.
I don't jump when someone does the same thing. I look and say, okay.
Yeah, I know, but being facetious,
I know.
you know. But yeah, that's most likely their thinking. We don't want to hire a vet because he may actually know the difference
They're
in what's
probably
going on.
afraid that we will respond and go toward the sound of gunfire.
Oh, heaven forbid, then we won't get that body count.
Yeah, I put the gunman or woman or whatever down for the count with some well-placed rounds.
Decorative silhouettes of Revolutionary War soldiers. It's not just guns that raise the ire of leftists these days. It's their shape. A house key shaped like a gun, a Pop-Tart eaten by a student into the shape of a gun-shaped logo on a pencil, a shirt, or even a hand gesture have stirred controversy. Even the cloud shape like a new gun drew attention. I remember seeing a cloud that looked very vaguely like a gun. Heaven, Mother Nature, we're going to find you! We're going to put you in jail! It's a,
Mother Nature.
yeah.
I'm going to track somebody down
Yeah.
and let them have it.
yes.
Every whole community.
Anyway, now flat pieces of steel attached to a fence in Port Angeles, Washington, are causing problems.
Washington State. Oh,
Yeah.
no, there's right there.
They are silhouettes of Revolutionary War soldiers holding what adorns guns that adorn a new fence surrounded the city's replica of the Liberty Bell. The Peninsula Daily News reported Mayor Sissy Bunch.
Sissy.
Sissy!
Name.
Sissy Bunch is insisting that the guns be removed.
Sissy.
Hey, Sissy, go brunch on something. We can find other symbols that give the bell respect. She asked the paper.
Ooh, cannons.
Yeah, there we go.
Ships.
Yeah,
Planes.
yeah, aircraft carriers,
Yeah.
tanks, landmines. She asked the paper, in my mind, there are more creative ways to do that, doing that. The mayor wants the symbol that celebrates what the veterans fought for, which is democracy, rather than using the tools. Wait a minute, we didn't fight for democracy. We fought for the republic. Go back and they haven't removed that out of the Pledge of Allegiance for the public for which it stands.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
that-
don't. And my kids are all homeschooled.
Yeah. So anyway,
My grandkids are all being homeschooled. So.
okay. The mayor claimed in a note to the town council that the soldiers with guns had drawn objections. From who? I have.
Sissy.
Yeah, I had comments from people saying, do we have to do guys with guns when guns are killing our children? Roach told the newspaper. But opposition is growing to the mayor's stance. My phone has not stopped ringing, said former Port Angeles Mayor Karen Rogers. She led a drive to fund the fence with Gary Vale, president of the Cullen County Veterans Association. Bunch should drop the idea, Rogers said. Villay and Sherry Kidd, a council member, already have sent Bunch letters urging her to stop. Villay said that the design of the fence created by Port Angeles sculptor Bob Stokes and Gary Lucer was approved by the Port Angeles Park Commission. A city building permit was issued and the contract was signed in August, the Daily News said. Rogers said the images have to do with the historical period of the Liberty Bell. It's a beautiful artist piece, she said. Kidd noted the design is historically accurate. We are a free nation only because of the brave men and women who have fought for our freedom. Good for you. I think what your people in Port Los Angeles ought to have an impeachment process.
Now, they should go to Fort Ligonier in October, the annual Ballot reenactment, and really see how it was. Flintlocks going on, kids going on.
I see here, vets are the enemy of the deep state feel. Yeah, you're probably right about that, because they know how the vets know how to have been there, and most of them that I know are willing to do it again if they had to, but not overseas, but right here.
Yeah, I've been asked, I don't know how many times, if I could do it all over again, would I join the military? The answer is yes. As long as I knew what I did wrong and corrected it before I did it again. Yeah, I would do it again. I wouldn't hesitate.
Here's a good one. Tell you how people feel in the Patriot movement. This is by Emmy, I believe. Here we had to move, restore, and replace a Civil War monument. They needed $60,000 to do the work and asked for donations. They got $300,000.
Oh!
Okay. Hey, I could use some of that money to restore me to the Civil War. No, make it go a bit further. Revolutionary War.
We can rebuild them.
We can rebuild them. We can make them stronger, more bulletproof.
Daryl said he is Revolutionary War uniform. With musket, bayonet, and other
I do have a Revolutionary War malicious. I do have a Revolutionary War militia uniform, and I have 2 Revolutionary War weapons. One is the Brown Bess, and the other is the Charleville. And at 50 yards, they poke nice big holes.
Is the Brown Bess with a 75 caliber?
Yeah. And the Charleville's 65. Yeah. Okay. So, Brown Bess is shooting 3/4 of an inch, and
Probably about 2/3 inch.
Charleville is shooting about 5/8 of an inch.
Anyway, you're dead.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyway, well, kids, I see some people are having to leave. Emmy's one, good night, my friends, and be safe, and no fear. Okay, we will see you next week. Again, we will be here. I don't have a gun show, so maybe I will be a little more rested. But,
Rusty?
yeah, rested. Not arrested, rested. Arrested comes later.
And what do you plan to do later?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I know what happens.
Because the following Sunday, following Sunday is Thanksgiving weekend. You're going to the camp.
Yeah, so that weekend I may not be here. It all depends on what kind of luck I have on Saturday. I have a doe license for a DMAP tag, which means when opening sunlight shows, I can shoot a doe. I don't have to wait till the next Saturday for it to come in. I can shoot a doe. And if I'm real lucky, maybe I'll be able to get one of those 2 big 10-pointers that have been running around in the back of the camp. My son's got them on camera. So
Will they line up just right? You get 2 in one shot?
I don't care how they line up as long as it's in front of my gun barrel and I can put a hole in one. I know I can't eat the antlers, but you know what? It'll be fun to sit there and fondle them.
I would eat it. On that note, folks.
I've shot a lot of deer in my lifetime. Probably based on the way the seasons were in the early years, we were only allowed one. Later years, in the last 15 years or so, maybe 20 years, we have been allowed to shoot more than one. In the time period that I've been hunting, there are several years I wasn't able to hunt, probably 5 or 10 altogether. I have shot more than 50 deer. And it took me 19 years to use up one box of 20 .308 rounds. Okay? 19 years to use up one box. That's because one shot, one kill. And I'm not bragging. I'm getting older and I'm getting shaky. But you know what? I can settle down just enough that when I pull that trigger, the bullet goes right where I put it. How strange is that?
I just think I never shot a deer and missed.
And I've never missed one, not with a rifle. I've missed them with the slugs. I've missed, but and I never had one get away.
I won. First shot I did lose, but that's.
I will say I did have one get away, and that's because somebody found it before I got to it. And but anyway, it really didn't get away. Somebody got it. So, and I haven't had to track them only one more than 50 yards. Most of them are down right there. DRT, dead right there.
Drop right there.
So, okay guys, night, I'm unplugging and I'm going to start dismantling. We will see you next week.